Rebirth, 2023, dives even deeper into the dark world of obsession and scientific madness, with the ethical implications of resurrecting the dead, and it does so in a way that grips your mind and gnaws at your sense of morality. This is not a film about simple scares or fleeting moments of horror. Rebirth is a masterclass in psychological unease and body horror that builds gradually, scene by scene, as it delves into the human psyche. Before we fully immerse ourselves in this journey, a quick reminder to hit that subscribe button for minute recaps. We bring you the most detailed, thought-provoking recaps of films that push boundaries, giving you fresh insight into everything from horror to drama and beyond. If you want to be part of a community that dives deep into cinema, you're in the right place. The film's opening does something particularly clever by establishing Rose, the detached, almost sociopathic pathologist, as a woman who is utterly removed from the emotional reality of death. She's obsessed with the mechanics of it, the science of decomposition, the clinical nature of a corpse. Her daily life is filled with the dead, but she treats them like puzzles to solve rather than people who once had lives and families. It's a chilling introduction, as we're shown how far removed from empathy Rose really is. She's methodical, her surroundings cold and sterile, reflecting her inner world. You can almost feel the void within her, where compassion should reside, but is instead replaced with scientific ambition. At the other end of this emotional spectrum is Celie, a character whose love for her daughter Lila overflows in every frame. She's a single mother, constantly battling the pressures of working as a maternity nurse while raising Lila. Her life is chaotic, filled with love, warmth, and sacrifice. You can sense that she is doing everything for her daughter, her entire existence dedicated to providing a better life for Lila. Celie is the embodiment of motherhood, someone whose heart beats in rhythm with her child's. This is why Lila's sudden and unexpected illness hits so hard. It feels like the ground beneath Celie has been ripped away, and the audience is taken along for this emotional gut punch. It's a visceral experience, and the film doesn't hold back in showing the brutality of this kind of loss. Lila's death marks a turning point, not just for Celie, but for the entire tone of the film. It transitions from a portrayal of day-to-day struggles into a much darker, more disturbing narrative. The audience is thrust into the deepest grief imaginable, and just when it feels like Celie is drowning in despair, we discover Rose's horrifying secret. Rose has taken Lila's body for her own experiment, an experiment designed to reanimate the dead. It's a shocking revelation, and the moral complexity of this moment is astounding. What should be a mother's worst nightmare becomes a twisted opportunity, a second chance at life. But at what cost? As Celie confronts Rose, the tension between the two women intensifies. Rose is calm, calculating, explaining her actions with the dispassionate tone of someone discussing a scientific hypothesis. To her, Lila is a breakthrough, a successful resurrection, albeit with complications. Rose's excitement about her work contrasts so sharply with Celie's desperate hope. Celie isn't interested in the science. She just wants her daughter back. But as Lila begins to show signs that something is terribly wrong, her erratic behavior, her physical deterioration, it becomes clear that this is no miracle. It's a nightmare in disguise. What makes Rebirth so disturbing is the way it forces us to consider the lengths we might go to in order to reverse the irreversible. Celie's initial joy at seeing her daughter alive again quickly turns to horror as she realizes the cost of this resurrection. Lila is no longer the child she once knew. She's a distorted version, her body and mind fragmented by the unnatural process that brought her back. Rose's experiments aren't just unethical, they're monstrous. But Celie, blinded by love, clings to the hope that Lila can be saved, even as the evidence mounts that this version of her daughter is beyond saving. The film's pacing mirrors the slow, creeping decay of Lila's body. Each scene feels like a step deeper into madness, as both Celie and Rose become increasingly consumed by their respective obsessions. Celie's love for Lila is twisted into something darker, an unwillingness to let go, even when faced with the horrific consequences of keeping Lila alive. Rose, on the other hand, becomes more and more detached from the human element of her work. She doesn't see Lila as a person, just as a test subject, a step toward perfecting her process. It's this clash between maternal love and scientific coldness that drives the film forward, making every interaction between the two women feel like a ticking time bomb. As Lila's condition worsens, the body horror intensifies. The film's use of practical effects is masterful. Lila's physical decay is both grotesque and heartbreaking. You can see the toll that Rose's experiments have taken on her. And yet, Cilly refuses to acknowledge the truth. There's something deeply tragic about Cilly's refusal to let go, even as Lila becomes more monstrous with each passing day. It's a powerful commentary on the lengths to which grief can drive us, how the pain of loss can push us into making choices that, under normal circumstances, we'd find unthinkable. The final act of Rebirth is where the film's themes truly come to a head. Rose's obsession reaches its peak as she begins pushing the boundaries of her experiment further than ever before. She becomes almost unhinged, driven by the belief that she's on the verge of a breakthrough. Cilly, meanwhile, is forced to confront the reality of what has happened to her daughter. The emotional weight of this confrontation is immense. Cilly is no longer just a grieving mother. She's a woman trapped in a nightmare of her own making, complicit in the horror that has unfolded. The climax is a brutal, emotionally charged sequence that leaves both Rose and Cilly with nothing left to hold on to. Cilly's ultimate decision is devastating, both for her and for the audience. She realizes that the Lila she loved is truly gone, and what remains is something that should never have been brought back. The film ends on a hauntingly ambiguous note, leaving viewers to wrestle with the moral questions it raises. What does it mean to truly love someone? Is it possible to love someone so much that you destroy them in the process? And how far are we willing to go in the pursuit of scientific discovery? The unsettling quiet of the final moments leaves a lasting impact. It's not just a horror story. It's a profound exploration of grief, obsession, and the consequences of trying to play God. The performances by the lead actors are extraordinary, particularly the transformation of Cilly from a loving, devoted mother to a woman consumed by the same madness that drives Rose. The slow burn of the plot, combined with the visceral body horror and psychological tension, makes Rebirth a film that you won't be able to shake off easily. Thanks for watching this recap of Rebirth. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on our latest uploads. We dive into a wide range of movies and series every week, from horror and thriller to drama and sci-fi. So there's something for everyone. New videos drop every week, so stay tuned for more deep dives into your favorite films and shows. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.